Good afternoon. I trust that you are well. It is 1 minute to the top of the hour. Another opportunity to bring you up to speed with the latest in the world of news. But first, the highlights. Intrigues and anticipation galore as the quest to impeach Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua picks up steam, even as the ex-Madeira lawmaker rallies every ally and weapon in his arsenal to head off the impeachment. End of an era at the Council of Governors as a change of guard brings in Wajir Governor Ahmed Abdullahi to replace two-time COG Chair Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru. Public Service Workers Union have issued a 14-day strike notice to the government over what they term as the bungled transition from NHIF to SHA. And a disagreement over fishing grounds in Homa Bay leads to a brawl on the lake, which then leads to the death of one fisherman. Good afternoon. Welcome to the broadcast live from Nairobi, Kenya. This is TV47 News Now. We start off in the courts, whereby the High Court was once again declined to issue an order to halt the process of impeaching Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua from office. When the matter came up for mention earlier today, Justice Bahati Moige directed that the matter, which was filed by Cleophas Malala, be referred to the presiding judge of the High Court, Chacha Mwita, for further directions. Currently, there are 13 petitions filed in various high courts stations across the country, all contesting the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Still on Gachagua's impeachment, a poll by TIFA conducted between October 1 and October 4, 2024, surveyed among 1,892 respondents, has revealed that 41% of Kenyans support the ongoing push to impeach Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua from office, while 38% are against the move. The survey indicates that ethnic discrimination and hate speech are the leading reasons cited by 35% of those in favor of Gachagua's impeachment, while on the other hand, 36% believe that Gachagua is being unfairly targeted. 69% of Mount Kenya residents oppose the impeachment, compared to 20% who support it. In other regions, 47% expressed support for the move, while 28% were against it. However, the research further indicates that 37% support Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki as the most preferred replacement of Gachagua, followed by Prime Cabinet Secretary, that is Musalia Mudavadi, by 5%, Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndende Nyoro by 5%, and Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru by 3%, and Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga at 2%. NARC Kenya Party leader Martha Karua has called for the resignation of President William Ruto and his administration, citing that it has failed to deliver its promises to Kenyans 2 years after taking office. Karua, reacting to Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's ouster bid, further stating that the priorities by the 13th Parliament were skewed at the expense of service delivery for Kenyans, calling on the Augustas to heed to calls of Kenyans during the public participation exercise held on October 4 and 5 by having both the president and his deputy removed from office.
Is not diverted to the issues of the day, and that's why participants in Elgeyo Marakwet were asking whether the impeachment of Gachagua will build the stadiums they were promised, whether it will bring the building of the roads that they have been promised and have not so far been built. In other words, Kenyans want their issues attended to, not side shows. And the message to the Ruto regime is clear: shape up or shape out. Governments are elected and leaders are elected to prioritize the needs of the people. But it appears that Ruto and his regime and the entire parliament are oblivious of the needs of the people. Only very few of the parliamentarians are focused on the issues of the people. We are calling upon Kenyans to continue raising their voices. This regime needs not only to be reminded of its duty, but it needs to be forced out if it cannot attend to the people's needs.
Elsewhere, a section of legislators have strongly come out to urge Parliament to consider the views of the public recorded in the public participation process held for the impeachment motion of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Kitui woman representative Irene Kasalo has said the Parliament must listen to the voice of the locals who have called for the removal of both the president and his deputy. Kasalo was speaking during a youth fashion event in Kitui town, calling her fellow MPs to consider the public participation views.
It has been demonstrated that public participation is the way to go. Public participation is the way. Public participation is the way. So even as the Parliament, what you people, you guys, to decide whether Gachagua goes or not, umesema fanya nini?
Right, and now let us shift gears away from matters Gachagua's impeachment motion. A 23-year-old fisherman, Jacob Odira, was killed during a violent dispute over fishing grounds on Lake Victoria near Lela Beach in Homa Bay sub-county. Odira, a member of the Lela Beach Management Unit, was fishing with 4 colleagues when they were ambushed by rival fishermen from Dhuru, that is Kamwai, and Sikri beaches in Suba North sub-county. The attackers, arriving in 2 boats, launched an assault using stones and glass bottles, where in the ensuing chaos, Odira fell into the lake and drowned. His body is yet to be recovered. Homa Bay County Police Commander Hassan Barua has confirmed the incident and has stated that investigations are underway.
Kwenda kuvua kule baharini. Wakati tulikuwa tunavua vile tulimaliza kuweka wavu ndani ya boti, tukaona boti 2 zinakuja, zimetuelekea, zikaanza kuturushia mawe. Sasa yule nahodha wetu akawaulizia, kwani kuna nini? Akasema wanatuua. Kwani tumefanya nini? Leo tunawaua. Hasa wakaanza kuturushia mawe. Jiwe moja likamgonga huyo nahodha, mengine akawa anatugonga, lakini hakuacha kuendesha boti. Akazidi tu kuendesha vile, wakaanza kutupiga, wanatupiga hadi sasa lile lingine lilipokuja, wakapiga mmoja wetu hapo, katumbukia majini. Lile boti lingine likaja likampitia juu, jamaa kazama. Wakishaona hivyo, wakatunyang'anya fuel tank na fuel line, wakaenda zao. Wakatuacha hapo kwenye ziwa. Hadi wenzetu walipotoka huku chini, baada ya muda hivi, wakaja wakatukuta, wakatupeleka nje. Huyo jamaa jinsi alivyodondoka kwenye maji, alizama, na pale majini ukishazama lazima ufe kwa sababu hatujamuona, tulimsubiria kutokea.
Around 10 o'clock, they were attacked by the patrol team of Kamwai where they were being beaten by stones, running stones, I mean, where one of our fishermen collapsed in water and died. So I'm asking the government to help us in searching for the body. We don't want the illegal patrol to be done in the lake.
Unions have issued a 14-day strike notice to the government over what they term as a chaotic and premature rollout of the Social Health Authority, that is SHA, with claims that it has left thousands of employees without medical coverage and has left them facing financial insecurity. The notice, announced by a coalition of unions representing doctors, nurses, clinical officers and other public sector workers, warns that if the demands are not addressed within 2 weeks, they will stage a nationwide strike that could paralyze the delivery of essential services. The union's concern stem from the sudden shift from the National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF, to SHA on October 1st. Since then, workers have found themselves caught in a limbo, with no clear communication from the government regarding their health benefits.
We have seen untold suffering of many Kenyans because of the inefficiencies in the rollout of the SHA that took place on 1st of October. Yesterday, SHA management, which we will call the incompetent management at SHA, acknowledged the inefficiencies that have occurred. They've acknowledged that people have died because they did not do the right thing. They've acknowledged that people used money out of pockets. Yes, they're saying they're able to pay people back who use the money out of pockets, but will they be able to give people back their lives who lost their lives during this particular transition? So we are saying that there needs to be accountability for the organization called SHA so that Kenyans can actually access healthcare as expected.
How they are going to implement the promise of UHC, yet one of the pillars of UHC is access to that healthcare, but they have denied the same. And mind you, the facilities I'm talking about are the facilities in the hardship areas, in the rural areas, in the far-flung areas, where you only find probably one private facility over a very expansive area.
The SHA Act, it must be reviewed before anything happens. Failure to which in 14 days, we are going to lobby 47 plus 48, all our workers right from anywhere. We are going to go on the streets. We are not going to offer any service up and until those demands have been met and all our members are enjoying a good medical cover.
The government should come and tell us why they are predisposing Kenyans to death, because it was unnecessary for them to launch SHA prematurely. Maybe the idea might have looked good on paper, but you know, the dynamics of the population in Kenya and where we are as a country, it was a terrible idea to prematurely launch SHA.
National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi has announced that the government seeks to streamline the tax collection process, which will stop the overtaxing of a fraction of Kenyans by removing market distortions through rationalization of tax expenditure. Speaking during the launch of the KRA Summit themed Powering Trade Facilitation and Domestic Resources Mobilization in the Digital Age that was held in Nairobi, the Cabinet Secretary stated the plan will see the collection of 6% rather, that is the gross domestic product in terms of value-added tax, VAT, from the current 3.8%. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi lauded the move, adding that it is vital to build responsive policy frameworks and enable business ecosystems that will enhance resource mobilization.
Where is the problem? The problem is that we are not collecting tax that we should collect. Not because Kenyans don't want to pay tax, we are probably overtaxing a few Kenyans and leaving majority of us not paying their fair share of tax. If you look at VAT, Your Excellency, and I mentioned this when we had a cup of tea, we have the potential of collecting at least 6% of GDP as VAT, but we are collecting only 3.8%. Because tax visibility is a challenge. We are developing a system which must enhance tax visibility. We want to see those Kenyans, not to harass you. We must also make tax payment very friendly.
Such collaborative engagements and partnerships enable governments to develop sound policies that encourage investment, job creation, and ultimately economic growth. Notably, partnerships with the international organizations, including the East African Community, the African Continental Free Trade Area, and the World Customs Organizations, provide technical support, good practices, and knowledge sharing that enhance our ability to collect taxes and manage resources effectively.
Elsewhere, a somber mood engulfed Igembe North area in Meru County during a burial ceremony of 2 National Reserve policemen and a herdsman who were killed by cattle rustlers 2 weeks ago. The ceremony, which was attended by local leaders and the pastoral community in the area, called on the government to tighten security due to regular attacks in the area, claiming laxity from security departments. Meru County Commissioner Jacob Ouma warned against politicizing security issues and assured a return of calm in the area.
We usually work within with the community, and mostly the most under-resourced community, and we use several methodology. The first one is human-centered design. Human-centered design is a process whereby we usually deploy volunteers, as you can see them, and they come and educate or create awareness on how the community can be able to connect their resources or locally available materials and be able to move from one level to another.
We have a memorandum of understanding with the Core Africa to come into the communities, to get into the communities in 22 counties in Kenya, or everywhere that they are in, to have the youth that they work with or the volunteers that they work with, training the communities.
Now let us head back to the country's capital, where the Environment, Climate Change and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has vowed to name and shame any company that is polluting Nairobi River in an effort to restore Nairobi River ecosystem. Speaking, that is at Extended Producer Responsibility meeting that aims to restore the Nairobi River, the NEMA Director General Mamo Boru said that they have identified the root cause of pollution of Nairobi River that includes informal settlements, illegal dumping, dilapidated sewer lines and encroachment in the riparian. Nonetheless, the Environment Cabinet Secretary Duale called on NEMA to take action on companies that do not comply to keeping the environment safe.
At the root cause of the Nairobi River pollution issues, and as Waziri has said, we've identified sewering system, dysfunctional, dilapidated sewer lines. Then there was also the issue of dumping sites along the Nairobi River basin, illegal dumping sites, including the infamous Dandora site is along the Nairobi River basin. Then the third issue was the issue of informal settlements. Then the other last issue is encroachment in the riparian.
47 kilometers of Nairobi River has been cleared now. And Joyce, we have a very strong sustainable program. The Korean government is even helping us invest in cameras to see who is dumping, and NEMA can control from their control center. I mean, the president has a huge program, but whether people like it or not, we will shame those who pollute Nairobi rivers.
And a court in Nanyuki has ordered the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, and the UDA party to appoint and publish names of 2 representatives that will represent mothers and persons with disabilities in the Laikipia County Assembly. Through a petition by Esther Ndongo, the 2 parties are accused of failing to look into the issues of the disabled and mothers during the 2022 election in the county Parliament. The ruling, which was done by Judge Githinji, will increase the number of Laikipia ward representatives from 25 to 27, whereas the county governor, Joshua Irongo, will also increase the number of his ministers from 7 to 8.
Assembly member.
I, Stephen Derito Kamau, do swear that I shall always truly and diligently serve the people and the Republic of Kenya in the office of County Assembly Member of Laikipia County.
I, Catherine Nyokabi Kibwe, do swear that I shall always truly and diligently serve the people and the Republic of Kenya in the office of the County Assembly Member of Laikipia County.
All right. And now to you, our valued viewer, and to the lovers of rugby. Cape Media and Kenya Rugby Union have signed a memorandum of understanding that will provide the Cape Media an opportunity to provide coverage and content to the viewers during the Safari Sevens, one of the continent's biggest rugby sevens event, scheduled to take place from 11th to 13th this month in Machakos County. Cape Media will provide a live and pre-recorded matches as well as promote matches before the kickoff. This year's edition has attracted 15 teams and will be divided evenly between men and women. As the defending champions, the Kenya Sevens Shujaa aim to defend the title they bagged in the 25th edition. Cape Media is the mother company of TV 47 and Radio 47.
We've just signed an MOU with the Kenya Rugby Union today, and the purpose of that MOU provides us an opportunity as Cape Media to provide coverage, to provide content for our viewers during the Safari Sevens International Rugby Tournament at Machakos this coming weekend.
We're extremely happy to have partnered with Cape Media. This is the 26th edition of the Safari Sevens. We are going to have a total of 15 teams spread evenly between men and women. Part of what we hope to achieve with this partnership is just visibility for all the games, visibility for the teams, and in general get as many people watching the 26 Safari Sevens as possible.
Kwa mashabiki wote wa raga hapa Kenya, barabara zote weekend hii zinaelekea kule Machakos, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Utaipata kwenye radio yako, Radio 47 na TV 47. Tupatane Machakos.
Furaha, kujibamba, everything good. Muyadhoche Masaku. Ukaimuone Kinze. Kitu more fire. Kama unaweza fika Macha, wewe fika Macha. Patana na sisi hapo, tupige picha, uoche rugby, uone watu wakiinuana huku na wana celebrate, hawakasirikiani. Hizo unaona wapi kama sio rugby? We, Hoka Masaku, we are waiting for you. More fire.
Of course. Cape Media, TV 47, the home of untold stories, and Radio 47. Hapa ndipo. In other news, young people have been encouraged to be innovative in various technological matters to promote sustainable economic growth in the country and across Africa. Speaking during the launch of a conference focusing on sustainable development in Africa, the Director General of Nuclear Energy, Eric Ohaga, stated that the youth are a unique hope for ensuring that the nation advances technologically to combat poverty and address societal issues as we aim to, that is, at achieving the 2030 vision for young people.
From the Kenya SDG report, our country is number 123, and we have a lot of sustainable development goals that are still stagnating. Some are moderately moving upwards. So we need to sit down and reflect what the large numbers of the Kenyan youth.
And one of the things when it comes to sustainable development goals is always taking a step back to actually look at what we have done so far, what we need to do, and just create accountability measures so that we are not just working blindly, yet we just have 6 years to achieve the sustainable development goals.
For us to be able to accelerate the development of these SDGs, then the role of these young people is critical. And therefore, the involvement of the young people, even in this particular forum, would give us a status to see how best can we then move with them, even as we move towards 2030, which is just 6 years shy from its achievement. Human resource is very critical, and the human resource that we are talking about is projected in the next 10 to 15 years. And when you talk about that, then we are talking about the young people.